Hey YouTube, what's going on? Welcome back to the shop. I'm out here right now. I'm working on the transmission crossmember for the Bronco. So in the last Bronco episode, we got the transmission, clutch, all that all mounted and figured out. And then off camera, I got the transfer case in, got the driveline all centered in the frame. It's not actually centered on the Ford Bronco. I don't know, maybe other Ford vehicles are the same way because of the offset of the Ford 9-inch, but on the Bronco anyway, the motor's offset about 1 3/4 inches, I think is kind of what I figured out. I got the transfer case and everything all mounted, sitting up on blocks. Got it level where it's at, and then from there I was able to take a bunch of measurements and get everything dimensioned so that I could cut out all the parts I needed for the transmission crossmember. So unfortunately, I thought I had the video running when I cut all the pieces, but I did not. And so what we have is the aftermath of me cutting out all the pieces. And I'm just in the process now of cleaning them all up. I got them on here. I'm just cleaning it was some old steel I had sitting around. So I'm just gonna clean the surface rust off, deburr them. And then I got a couple of pieces I gotta bend. And then we can get them all bolted up and cut the tube that spans in between the two, get everything tack welded together. So stick around, we'll get this all set up. You just got to get your gist of it there. So just take you through my process. I wire wheel it. Then I hit it with I want to say that's a 40 grit sanding disc on a grinder. This one here. And then after that, I hit it with my DA with like a 60 or an 80 grit paper on there as well. On a side note, any of you out there have any recommendations for sandpaper? I've tried expensive stuff, I've tried cheap stuff. It really never seems to hold up very well against metal. So I've just started continuously buying the cheap stuff and assuming it's not going to last very long. And then here's what we end up with. So this bracket here bolts up to the AX15. Then the stock Jeep transmission mount bolts to that. And then this is the center bracket for the crossmember. Here are the two frame end brackets, here and here. Those will bolt to the factory location on the Bronco. And then these are some gussets that will kind of sit here. Once this is all tack welded up, those will kind of sit like that. And then there'll be some rectangle or square tube coming from here to each of the frame brackets. So stick around and we'll get all that bolted up, measure for our frame or for the tubing we need, and then get all that tacked in place as well. All right, YouTube, that's going to wrap it up. Unfortunately, my battery died on my phone and I did not realize it. I wish I could have got a little bit more of this on film. I did have it set up doing the time lapse of me welding and the time lapse of me fitting it all on the frame. And I thought the fitting on the frame was okay. Then my phone showed 20% when I set it up on the time lapse for the welding. And then when I finished all the welding and I went and grabbed my phone, it was off. So I don't know why it went from 20% to off, but technology isn't always your best friend, I suppose. But here's the finished product. So there's the cross member, uses all the factory mounting locations on the frame. Got it all welded up. So tomorrow when this is cooled down, I'll go ahead and get it bolted back onto the frame. I'm not going to paint it yet. I will most likely wait until I have all the drive shafts done and whatever other fab work, the front drag link and tie rod. And then that way there when I'm painting them, I can just paint them all at once. But I'm pretty happy with how this all turned out. Brings us one step closer to having the Bronco done. So thanks for tuning in. If you guys liked the video, hit that like button and subscribe to see more. Thanks.